We're going to be making sort of a peach frozen yogurt, and you might think that that's already a ton of work. I'm just going to buy a tub of frozen yogurt instead. But this is really simple. All you need is a food processor. So if you have a food processor, you can turn frozen fruit into really tasty dessert, and you sort of know what's in it. You can sort of control the flavors, and this is a great one with peaches. So if you can't find good peaches, or if it's not peach season, I would definitely encourage you to use frozen.
So easy.
Really easy. Frozen peaches are picked in the peak of the season, so they taste really good, and a lot of the prep is already done for you.
Yeah. And I always get the question, like, is it as nutritious as fresh? And like Jeremy said, it's picked at the peak of freshness, and then processed in a way so that the nutrients are locked in. So the answer is yes, they are just as nutritious as fresh, and they're easy. So it's a great way to incorporate your fruit, even when things are not in season.
So we're gonna add, for the frozen fruit, and again, we're using peaches. You can use anything here. You can use blueberries, you can use frozen cherries. You just need a frozen fruit.
Mango.
Frozen mango. So we're gonna add a little bit of yogurt. This is just plain Greek yogurt, just to make it a little bit creamier. If you didn't want to use yogurt, you can definitely turn this into more of like a sorbet, and you can just use water. Like you just need a little bit of a liquid or something soft.
But again, Greek yogurt is higher in protein, right? So for 3/4 of a cup of Greek yogurt, you're getting 17 grams of protein. So, I mean, this is a dessert recipe, so you're not using that much. But again, you want to make every bite count, whether you're looking to manage whatever way you're looking to manage your weight, right? So it's a great option, and they do come in lower fat versions if you'd like.
We're gonna add a little bit of maple syrup as well, just to lightly sweeten this up. We don't have to add too much.
Use your tablespoon.
Tablespoon.
I don't know what tablespoon you're talking about. That's gone. A little bit of maple syrup in there. We're going to add a little bit of vanilla. I think vanilla and peaches go really well together. Don't need too much. And again, like the other two recipes, we're really trying to highlight some of the other flavors so that we don't need as much sugar or maple syrup. We're going to use a little bit of nutmeg, but what else would go really well in this? Cinnamon would work really well. What do you guys think?
Not chili.
No.
You can add chili. I know mangoes with chili are really good, so
Maybe.
this is your ice cream. Today it's my ice cream, but at home, you can make whatever you want. And we're going to add about 2 cups of frozen peaches. And again, this is not an exact science. So if it's,
I was gonna ask, if you got a bunch of peaches and they were really ripe and you couldn't eat them all, how would you freeze them?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great way to sort of capture the season and preserve it. So with peaches, stone fruit, a lot of vegetables and fruit in general, if you did want to freeze them, what you would want to do first is blanch them in boiling water for about 30 seconds to 60 seconds. And then from the boiling water, we're going to shock them in ice water. What this does is it destroys this sort of ripening enzyme that's in fruits and vegetables. Because even if you freeze them like chopped up like this, they will start to discolor after time. So this will just hold on to the color and the texture a little bit better. So blanch, freeze, and then you can peel them or leave the peel on, chop them up, lay them flat onto a baking tray and then into the freezer. That's a great suggestion to hold on if you have like a whole bushel of peaches, for example. So that's pretty much it. Lid's gonna go on, just in case. I don't want to get our guest all dirty. So I'm gonna throw this on here and plug it in. It's always a good idea. I think I would have learned by now.
I'll stand back.
Yeah. I only do this because she's been in our family for about 5 years and starting to spill at the seams. So. So that's pretty much it. We're gonna keep like blending this until it breaks down. Now, if you see that it's not breaking down, it's too solid, you just add a little bit of liquid. If it's too soft and it's more like a yogurt consistency, then just add a few more chunks of frozen fruit in there. So we'll give this a quick stir. So we could use maybe a little bit more liquid, but that's pretty much all you need. Yeah, just a little bit of water just to get it going. And then to garnish it, we're gonna actually grill some peaches as well. Has anyone barbecued peaches before? No. Okay. Definitely got to try barbecued peaches. I'll stop this just so you can hear me. Fruit in general is really tasty. On the grill, we did a class where we grilled watermelon, which was interesting. Peaches taste really good, and the beautiful thing about plant-based ingredients is you can get a little bit of color on it, right?
Yeah, there's no harmful carcinogens that you have to be worried about in the same way from other types of foods like meat, animal products, because the heat and the fat from those products don't interact in the same way to cause those cancer-causing chemicals.
So definitely try to get a little bit of color, and it just really transforms the flavor, caramelizes a little bit of the sugar. And we're using just a grill pan, but obviously at home, if you have your barbecue, you can get that going. So we'll do one last spin on this. You guys anymore. So I did one ahead of time as well, and what I do is just empty it out into a baking dish, and it's great as is like this. But if you want it a little bit firmer, you can just pop it into the freezer just for a few minutes. And yeah, that's really, really nice.
Yeah.
You're the guest, so we're going for a big scoop.
It's made with fruit.
It looks really creamy.
Yeah. There you go.
So our peach
And it's really refreshing.
frozen yogurt. We'll throw a big grilled peach on top of that. If we're really getting fancy, you can even throw some pecans or something crunchy on top of that. But that is our peach on peach.
Awesome.
Yes.